going on, Jerome's? So your Minnesota Vikings looking for their future franchise quarterback and blah, 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 blah. But if they want to get up into the stratosphere, Kwesi's going to have to do some work and some more maneuvering. And yes, the Vikings do have 2 first-round picks, so they have the ammunition to go up and get their guy into the stratosphere. Talk about 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. to definitely secure your guy. Now, there's been 17 bajillion iterations of trades that could get the Vikings up there, but we have considered it may take 2 separate trades on top of the Texans one already for the Vikings to get up to where they need to be. Because the thing about it is, if a team wants to drop, 11's kind of a far drop, especially if they're up in the stratosphere. But if the Vikings are able to convince a team to trade down and then they're able to move up again, and the team with a premium pick doesn't have to move down as far, in aggregate, I mean, it could make sense, and also it could get the wheels moving with the team that's ultimately moving down from the highest pick, right? So we've thrown that idea around a bunch in our head, and we tried to do it in a mock draft, except I think people would just boo. Boo. Oh, you're trading up to 5 now to get up to 3. Oh, this is not realistic at all, although I feel like Kwesi's got some moves in him. Enter Drew Magary. All right, so formerly a Deadspin, famously author of Why Your Team Sucks, diehard Minnesota Vikings fan. Respect his work. Love his fiction, too. It's really good. Plus, he won an episode of Chopped, which is fantastic. It's like all my worlds combining. Now, if Drew played some poker, like I think we're in business, man. So Drew Magary on the old Twitter machine put together a trade proposal, 3-way trade, where the Vikings ultimately end up with the number 3 overall selection. So here's what Drew said. Gentlemen, I have a proposition for you, a 3-team deal between Minnesota, New England, and Arizona. Minnesota receives New England's number 3 overall pick. New England receives Arizona's first-rounder, number 4 overall. The Vikings' 2025 first-round pick, as well as running back Ty Chandler. Arizona gets the Vikings 2 first-rounders this year, 11-23, as well as a 4th-round pick, of which the Vikings have 2 this year. So in terms of like flowchart enhanced, here's what happens for the Vikings. So they give up 11-23, a 4th-rounder this year, a 2025 first-rounder, and Ty Chandler for number 3 overall. Now, in aggregate, that's not bad, and that's probably what it's going to cost to get up to number 3. At least 3 threes, right? 11, 23, and that 2025 future first rounder, which ideally you'd like to hang on to. But if that's what it costs, and you're sold that you have your guy up there at 3, there you go. And also, what's unique about 3 is that it's different than 4, in that, hey, 1, 2. 3. So you'd have your selection of 2 of the remaining big 4 quarterbacks, with Williams and potentially like Jaden Daniels going 2 or whoever. So you'd have your choice of either May or Daniels, or May and McCarthy, or McCarthy and Daniels, depending on who goes 2. All right, so it will give you options in that spot as opposed to settling, even though at the end of the day at the press conference, this is the guy we wanted all along. Now for New England. So New England has a made in the shade in this friggin' trade, man. So yes, they do pass on having their choice of one of the big 4 quarterbacks if it goes QB 1, 2, 3, 4. But also they could take the 4th quarterback, and they get Ty Chandler, who's a dynamic running back, would really help out the running game, as well as the Vikings 2025 first-round pick. So they do all that by just taking one of their quarterback choices off the board. And like we said, all right, so say it goes Caleb Williams 1, it goes Jaden Daniels 2. Say that New England is really in on J.J. McCarthy. Like, they love him, they think that he's going to fit what they want to do, etc. And the Vikings are really in on Drake May. So the Vikings trade up for Drake May, and New England gets to move down 1 spot. They get the quarterback that they wanted all along, and they get Ty Chandler as well as a 2025 first-round pick. Now, also, the Vikings give up Ty Chandler. I like Ty Chandler a lot. I think that he is super explosive whenever he touches the rock, but he is a little bit older of a running back. He was when he came into the league. He's into year 3. Pass blocking-wise, maybe not so much. And also, since the Vikings do have 7 day 3 picks, they certainly could replace him in the draft. I mean, Clemson's Will Shipley one time, I think basically can do everything that Ty Chandler can do, plus you do have Aaron Jones, etc. Now, Arizona, I feel like Arizona's side would have to be beefed up a little bit, so they're dropping 7 spots from 4 to 11, and like we said, one team is going to have to take a significant drop, and Arizona could be trading down out of range of their top 3 receivers, whether it be Malik Neighbors, whether it be Marvin Harrison Jr. Or Rome Odunze, or a couple of the tier 1 tackles. Now, the juice would have to be worth the squeeze for them, because yes, they would pick up 11-23, giving them 3 trace first-round picks in this draft at 11-23, as well as number 27 they got from the Texans. Plus, they would pick up a 4th rounder in this year's draft too. So I think Arizona's have to be beefed up a little bit. Maybe I don't know, like New England. This is a sweetheart deal for New England, and the Vikings do bear the brunt of the cost because they are the team moving up. And yes, it is hefty. Yes, it is a lot. Yes, the Vikings could maybe stick and pick and take Penix at 11, sure. But hey, if you're absolutely sold, if you are 100% dialed in that you want to bet the farm, you want to bet the short-term future of the franchise on May, Daniels, or McCarthy, and Kwesi, and Kevin O'Connell, and McCown, and everyone is willing to bet their jobs on it, go ahead. Go ahead, because, like I said, the Vikings never drafted a quarterback in the top 10 in NFL history, and the Vikings haven't really made that super aggressive move up to the top of the draft. Yes, they've traded into the back of the first for Teddy Bridgewater in 2014, but moving all up into the top 3, making sure that you get your guy as opposed to just settling for whoever is left, if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. Then who knew? Drew Magary for GM next. Who knows, man? But your thoughts are thoughts. Drew Magary's 3-way trade proposal. Maybe? Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. You guys know what to do. Skull production value.